Three, two, one, and go. We are live. Welcome to the Smash Life Experience podcast. I am your host, Michael K. Hughes, and today is season 2, episode 6, special guest 6. The title of today's episode is What Comes First, Mindset or Fizz? Now, there might be a little clue in there as to who today's guest is. So, today's guest is a graduate of one of the most world-renowned, toughest military training programs, and now an active Royal Marine Commando here in the UK. Additionally, he's a professional basketball player with recently promoted Birmingham Rockets. Coupling the two together makes him the epitome of a hybrid athlete. However, so far, he has had only a short but impactful HYROX career, making his debut in London in April 22 in the men's doubles with a time of 1:02.15 with partner Rory, and then stepping up as a late replacement at last year's World Championships in Manchester in May 23 with a very respectable finishing time of 58.59. That placed them 10th in their age group and 37th overall. So big raps for that. He is a valued member of the coaching team at functional fitness mecca Forders Gym in South Birmingham. He is also the co-founder of the notorious online collective known as the Phyz Factory, a motto of effort, not excuses. And we'll get more into that today. Finally, he is an online performance coach with a strapline trusted by many to unlock your optimal performance. Welcome to the show, Jordan Dawes.
Thanks very much for having me on. I don't know how I follow that introduction, but yeah, just great to be here.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, as I say, thanks for coming on the show, and lots to unpack there. I think you've got a great background. Before we jump into that, quick story on how we met. Summer Strive at Forders Gym. It was June 22, so it's approaching 2 years. And I remember there's this Phyz Factory, these t-shirts, and we're on the air bike. It was the engine room workout, and I'm pretty sure it was you on the air bike going crazy. I just thought, wow, that's some energy. I need to meet this guy. I like this guy.
Yeah, those competitions. Yeah, those competitions are really tough. Forders do a really good job of putting on an inclusive competition, but also that engine room is pretty formidable workout that everybody finds super tough. So it's always a great one.
There we go. So anyway, we've had a few conversations over the past couple of years, but like I say, excited to unpack a little bit about who Jordan Dawes is and some of your philosophies, your background, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll finish off with what's next as well. So look, let's go back to the start. Royal Marine Commandos, where did it all start? What were the sort of reasons behind going in and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so becoming a Royal Marines Commando for me was a product of something that I wanted to do. I thought the Green Beret was a tangible product of the shared morals and values that I was brought up to believe in. Both my parents are police officers. I'd seen the work that they'd done and how they'd help people. And obviously some of the government organizations in this day and age can get a bad rep, but I'd seen that they were real people doing real roles there to help real people with great morals and values behind them. So for me, it was a case of bringing that to the forefront, and the Royal Marines was a place where I felt that I could have a positive impact on the modern world. Obviously I played basketball professionally before, and I was in a full-time environment. And then I came off that, and at the end of the season, I just came home and said, I'm joining the Marines, and everyone was sort of, what's going on here? Yeah, what's happening? Right. So I joined the Royal Marines at that point. Wow. But actually before that, I got released from a club, and I had a year where I didn't have a club. And I kind of fallen out of love with basketball. I'd gone through a couple of tough seasons. I'd fallen out of love. I was 21. So I actually applied for the Royal Marines as an officer. Okay. Went through the officer application process. But with the Marines, because it is such a sought-after job, especially as an officer, they're only taking 60 new candidates a year as an officer, thousands and thousands of applicants. So I missed that batch. I was borderline making that batch. In hindsight, looking at the results, as maybe 1 or 2 places off that. So I put that to bed, ended up falling back in love with basketball, playing at a lower level. And then I ended up picking up another professional contract, played at that club for a year. And then after that year, regardless of how it went, I was like, right, I'm joining the Marines now. And that's what I did. But the actual process of getting through was a lot tougher than expected. I say a lot tougher than expected. It's the longest and hardest military training in the world.
Yeah.
However, I ran into a couple of issues, shoulder surgery, pneumonia, which left me hospitalized within that process. It actually took me 23 months to pass out. So what you said there about the title of this podcast and this episode is definitely something that I've been through myself in terms of mindset, keeping yourself in what felt like a prison sentence for nearly 2 years just to get this green beret. It was something that was really important to me.
Wow, that's awesome, man. What year? What year did you start the process? And you say it took 2 years to actually pass out.
Yeah, so I first applied in 2014, and that was where I was unsuccessful as an officer. After that, I then reapplied and I went in 2016. So I joined, September 2016. And actually, for those that know him, don't know him, me and Harry Shep, we were in the same troop to start Royal Marines training.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
So, yeah.
Harry, not Harry Bird, Harry Shep.
No, Harry Shepherd.
Shep.
So Harry Shep Fitness. Yeah, he's
Oh,
done quite a bit on the online coaching space,
okay.
particularly with potential Royal Marines and whatnot.
Nice. Okay. Nice. And do you know the guy Commando Charlie?
Yeah, so funny story about actually Commando Charlie. So yeah, Charlie, we actually met on my HYROX coaching course.
Oh, right.
I knew who he was and I'd seen some of his stuff. But obviously as bootnecks, that's what we call each other. We've got a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah.
So when we was in there and someone told me he was a Marine, but I'd seen his stuff, but I didn't know him to like recognize him.
Yeah.
So someone said, "Oh, he was in the Corps." So I went over and spoke to him, introduced myself, and he was on that HYROX coaching course. I can't remember whether he was doing some stuff or helping to lead it, or he was actually on the course.
Right.
And we started having a conversation around that time about it all, and we have that mutual respect, and that's the beauty of the Royal Marines. We have that camaraderie, that feel that everything that comes together, where we do share that respect and we know what each other have been through. And it doesn't matter. I was on the train not so long ago on the way back from Manchester, and there was an old boy on there, and straight away there's a mutual respect. And the reason that I knew that he was in the Corps was because he had a little Royal Marines pin. Straight away, I sat next to him. We just started having a chat about it all, and that's how it is. That's the sort of brotherhood that's painted out.
Yeah, love that. And what is it? You mentioned the word bootneck there. What is that? What's that about?
There's a historical context with regards to that. So I have to get this right. Let's not do this. Let's leave that to Google.
Yeah, leave that.
There's so much. Yeah, just in case I get it wrong.
Get it wrong.
But
put it on the spot there.
Yeah, no, it's fine because we have so much language. We have so much. That one is obviously the one that sort of hits you in the face, like we call the toilets the heads, because they were always at the head of the shit. We use scran in the whole of the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines. We say scran. That's because of when they first went on ship, the preservative foods were sultanas, currants, raisins, and nuts. So that's where scran comes from. When it's cold, we'll say it's brass monkeys because they had these brass figurines on the outside of ships that used to freeze and break off. So that's why it's brass monkeys. So there's all these things. There's almost so much, but there's a great dictionary done by a guy that's called the Bootneck to English Dictionary, and it goes through all the language that we have.
Nice, man. Okay. We'll have to check it out. I guess get that on Amazon or on the internet somewhere, or
yeah, it's somewhere online. I'm sure if you search for Bootneck to English Dictionary, it will definitely come up. Bootneck. But it's really, really good.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, like it. And something around like the battalions. They call it like 4-2 or 4-4. What's that?
So we have 40 Commando, we have 4-2, 4-5, 4-3. There's quite a few, 30. So yeah, they're the names of the units that we go to. So I went to 40 Commando, my first unit after passing out. So I was in Bravo Company at 40 Commando, which I think your first unit always sort of carries a special place in your heart. That was, where I met the founder of the Phyz Factory. We became best mates. Went on to buy a house together, which we've still got. We used to live together in it, and
Oh,
there's
nice.
all these great opportunities that comes from your time in the Corps. And like I say, I'm still in now.
Got
Yeah,
it.
so.
Yeah, nice, man. And then, so what, well, I was gonna say, what's like a typical sort of day or week look like now, in the Royal Marines?
Okay, so now are we talking for me or
Yeah,
if I
so
was at the unit?
actually, go back a step. What did it used to look like? 'Cause I know that your role's changed now, hasn't it? So what's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
typical day?
So a typical day week is great if you love training. Let's put it this way. So every morning you'd have what we call troop fizz. So the way it used to work within my troop of 40 Commando is we had different guys that would take physical sessions, and there's a few reasons for doing it. One, to give them to make sure that they're all sort of educating themselves on their own fizz, as we call it, hence Phyz Factory, their own training. But the other reason is to give them that confidence of leading people and being in front of the lads, as we'd say, and actually leading them through a session. And that could be someone that passed out a week ago, and you've got a 10-year corporal that's in your troop, and he's in there and he's having to lead them through their exercise and say and be assertive with it. This is what we're going to do. Be clear and concise with their explanations of all the exercises, and put them in a difficult position. And it all comes from what we say: get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's a massive thing about it. So we make that happen straight away. So your day would start off with troop fizz. Then you might have any sort of training afterwards. So it could be at troop level, could be at company level. So it could be what we call like anything sort of tactics, tactical training. Obviously, this is a week on camp. You could obviously then be doing some stuff, taking care of your weapons, anything that's taking care of all of your kit and equipment, just all of that stuff, because we need to be able to operate at an optimal level at all times. So making sure that we are satisfied with the level that all of our kit and equipment is at, all the weapons and everything is very important. And the maintenance of that is something that's not taken lightly.
Nice.
And then again, most of the lads then will do their own training in the afternoon as well,
Yeah.
in terms of physical fitness training. But it's literally training to do your job, or you're maintaining equipment and you're training physically. So
Yeah.
the gyms that we have on camp and on bases, at 40 Commandos, boxing gym, sports hall, a functional fitness gym, weights gym. There's everything. There's a climbing wall, football pitches, and it's all stuff that we utilize, because one of the other big things we use it for is creating that engagement with each other and that camaraderie by the social element too. So we might have a football tournament on a Wednesday afternoon or something like that. So it's all geared around our relationships and making sure that we can perform at the highest level, because that's what we're about. Excellence is one of our values, and that's something that we like to stick to.
Nice. Love that. Love that. So you pretty much, from what I hear there, you're pretty much a full-time athlete, but you've not got a specific sport. Yeah.
Yeah, so for sure. So it is definitely that. So there is an element of, you do have to analyze what you're doing. You will go into debriefs after some of your troop training. So say if it is, but then remember, we do go away and we spend time in the field, and then we have time in the ranges, or you can spend months at a time away. My first trip 2 weeks after I passed out was to Albania, Oman, Qatar. I
Wow.
was on ship the whole time. We did mountain training in Albania. We did survival exercise out there. That was, well, first of all, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that I got to go to Albania, because what a beautiful country that is.
Wow.
But then that was one of my favorite things I've ever done, just dropped away 30 miles away in the Albanian mountains and be like, right, lads, get back. And you've got next to no food and next to no water, and you're just trying to survive to get back. And
Wow.
because of the terrain, it's so difficult. But this is where we go into it. So the whole hybrid athlete thing.
Yeah.
So military personnel, that's probably where this term sort of, if they were to coin what military personnel were, you probably find that it is actually a hybrid athlete and where it originated from.
Yeah.
And I think there's Coach Mike Chadwick that does a great job at this, and talking about the tactical athlete and all his work within the army, as well, it speaks for itself what he's done. But that's sort of this tactical athlete, hybrid athlete crossover is a massive thing because we've had to lift heavy weights and
Yeah.
we've had to walk with it and we've had to run with it and get from A to B all the time in whatever way, shape, or form possible.
Yeah.
So actually, when you look at the term hybrid athlete, there is a massive link between the two.
Yeah, love it, love it, and that's a good point to say. Who we'll come on to HYROX in a minute, but who maybe from the Marines that you can think of? Can you throw a couple of names out there who have not done a HYROX yet, but might be in a prime position to do well?
So there's a guy that's just left, one of my good friends, Jack Draper, Slugs, we call him.
Look,
Named Slugs. Yeah, named Slugs because when he got to his first unit, he had his eyebrows shaved off. So he had no slugs. So that's why they call him Slugs to this day. I didn't know his name for years, but and we're really good pals. So he's actually just moved to the States. He's done one HYROX. He had a bit of a bad time at it because he messed the exercise order up. But if he gets it right, I wouldn't be surprised if he sort of. I mean, I'd be happy to say that he could be one of the best if he really
really,
puts his mind to it, and he is sort of starting to lend himself to that. So that was his one. I know he wasn't happy with that. I can't remember the time off the top of my head, but it wasn't representative anyway because, like I say, he messed the exercise order up, so it's hampered by penalties. But he's definitely one to watch when it comes through.
what was his name again? Sorry.
Jack Draper.
Jack Draper. Okay, one to watch for listeners out there. Go and check him out. Keep your eyes out. And anyone else you can think of?
Off the top of my head, there's going to be so many. The Royal Marines is actually doing a similar to a HYROX type competition in the next couple of weeks, actually. So there's going to be lads from all sorts of different units that are going down to Commando Training Centre Royal Marines and competing in a competition. So I'm sure after that I'll have a bunch of names for you of ones to watch. Unfortunately, I can't compete because it's the middle of the basketball season. So
okay.
I won't be competing, which I'm sure we'll get onto that sort of stuff in a minute.
Yeah,
But it's definitely think something to look out for.
definitely, definitely. They got that, well, like I said, for you, it's that you've basically been training for HYROX all your life, all your career, really, in the Marines, running, lifting, carrying, pick up, put down, on the go, keep going, mindset. Mindset's the biggest one, the
100%.
what do they call it? The ability to suffer. Yeah.
That's
Pain.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. And one of the biggest things that I live by, and it's a little bit what we call in the Marines, again, using that language, Chad, which is a bit cliche and cringy.
Okay.
Something one of the quotes I live by is pain is temporary, pride's forever, within reason, because that's got me into trouble with shoulders and stuff like that. But the fact that you try and see it from the end, and if you can see something from the end, and this life that we're living is almost like a book, and we're telling this story, and anytime something goes wrong, it just makes for a better story, because at the end of it, when you're writing your story, you look back, well, actually, if that didn't happen, this story isn't as good.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's leave that there. I've got loads more questions about the Marines, but I think that's given us a nice overview for now. Lots more to unpack. So I think the next step is the Marines, but then all along with your time in the Marines, you've been playing basketball as well.
Yeah, so I actually had 3 seasons where I didn't play. But I say 3 seasons I didn't play. I didn't play at national league level. I was still playing for the Navy, for UK Armed Forces, and for the Marines. So I've had some great trips out of that to play the US Marine Corps, to play against other countries' militaries, and obviously against the Army and the RAF. So I have been playing the whole time.
Nice.
But albeit at different levels. And now, obviously, the last 3 years I've been back playing in the National League.
There we go. There we go. And we won't spend too much time on this because we have got a lot to cover. But what are some of the highlights of the basketball career? Last year getting promoted, that's going to be up there.
For sure, going back to my junior club, where I grew up playing for, and when I went back there, I said that I'm happy to come back as long as there is an idea for progression and to take the club to levels. It's the biggest junior development club in the country, so to be able to go back, put something on the floor in an area that's an underprivileged area, and give the kids something to aspire to afterwards, and being able to put them in a position where they can stay at home and play at a really good level and maybe make some money off this game. When it's a game that you love, it's a
Nice.
great opportunity. If it's something that you pay to play and now you're getting paid to play it, to put the kids in that position where they can go and do that now, that was a real highlight for me, and something that I've been able, a journey that I've been able to go on with my dad. He's the chair of the club, and he was the first one to ask me to come back. So I felt obliged, and I'm so glad that I did. And now we've had so many guys that have come back to play. Guys that I used to play with when I was younger. Orlan Jackman that won a Commonwealth Games gold medal last year.
Wow.
Sam Toluwasi, who's played internationally from Nigeria, he's actually in the army, so we have that sort of banter between us. Martin Gale, who leads the Division 1 in 3-point shooting over history that's made. So these guys have all brought into the bigger picture and what we say. We say more than a club. We all care about it a lot more than what's happening on the floor, and we'll go above and beyond to make that happen from a motivational coaching. When I say coach, I mean like life coaching sort of standpoint, to help these kids go through some of the battles that we've been through, and hopefully they can be much more efficient in their journeys to the top of the game in this country than we were, and go on to do better in other countries as well.
Brilliant, brilliant, man. That's awesome. Remind me, it's your dad that's involved. He's the chairman. I thought it was your uncle.
Yeah, so
Dad, yeah.
now my dad. So once I left the club, my dad became the chair. So yeah, once I left, but he actually coached me at under 18s. When I first went to the club, he would never even come in. So when I first trialed, I actually didn't get in. And a week later, they invited me back to some community sessions. I think I spent 3 weeks at the community sessions before getting invited back to the sort of performance team.
Nice.
And my dad never set foot in the gym at that point because he'd had a career coaching in the British Basketball League and sort of at higher levels. So he didn't want me to make this team because of who he was. So he never came in to the gym until I had made the team in my own right.
Got it, got it. What's your dad's name, by the way?
Kirk.
Kirk Dawes.
Yeah, that's him.
Nice.
Yeah, he's and to be honest, there's a lot of stuff, like he's done so much. He got a Queen's Police Medal. He's done so much for within like the mediation, for like high risk mediation industry. There's a lot there's like TV shows, documentaries, so you can just Google him and find out quite a lot about him, because he's got a hell of a story, and he's done this all whilst battling respiratory diseases and talking about mindset. And I know we'll probably get onto this a little bit more in a bit.
Yeah.
There's my dad, my aunt, who unfortunately passed away last week, one of my uncles that have been dealing with things on a day-to-day basis, but they form the foundation for my mindset, because I've seen them get through things, and where everybody's telling them you need to relax and you need to chill out, they've always found ways to improvise and adapt and overcome, which is quite funny because that's what we say in the core. But they've found a way to live their life to the max, and it's been a great life lesson that I've always had in front of myself. And we talk about gratitude and things like that. So that's one of the biggest things that I highlight. These people are dealing with things that are, that are messing with their life on a day-to-day basis, but they still find a way to help others. So that it's huge for me. It's been a great lesson for me, one that I wish I didn't have to have through seeing the pain that they've been in. Yeah. But it's the takeaways from that, it'll stay with me forever.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Wow, this is what a chat. What a chat. I think they say there's two ways to learn lessons. You can either learn through other people's experiences, or you can experience them yourself. So I think that that's a great it's a great opportunity. Well, like you say, it's a sad opportunity, but it's great that you've seen it as well, and hopefully you can maybe avoid some of those pains in the future, and then also pass them on like you are to the next generation as well, with the club, by the way, the Birmingham Rockets. Yeah.
There we go. Birmingham Rockets. Yeah, that's us.
There we go.
Yeah, definitely check us out.
Yeah, a quick shout out. The game that I came to last year, by the way, the St. Helens, what are they called? St. Helens?
St. Helens Saints.
St. Helens Saints. That was like back in two. I think was it a 1-pointer? It was close, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we were down 20 in the third quarter, and we actually came back to win that game, but it was out of us two to get promoted. So if they would have beat us by more than 13, they would have actually got promoted. So when we were down 20 in the third quarter, it's like the whole season rests on this game, and we came back to win. So a lot of character was shown, and resilience from the lads.
Mindset, exactly. Of all the games that I could have come to watch and see and experience, felt like I was in an NBA game or something. Albert going wild, and then
it was so loud.
Oh, as a player, could you feel that atmosphere?
when the ball got thrown up in that gym, we looked at each other like, it is so loud in here. Like,
Really?
this is ridiculous. Like, their fans were incredible that day. And then obviously we had a really good traveling contingent as well. So it was just back and forth. You
Yeah.
know, one of my good friends actually dunked on me and everyone was going nuts and it was just so loud. And usually you don't really hear the crowd when you're playing, but it was so loud in there you couldn't not.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was like stuff that could have been televised. That was awesome. That was awesome. Like I say, it was like being in an NBA game with 20,000 there. It was probably
Yeah,
what,
yeah, yeah.
maybe just over 1,000 there or something.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Yeah, yeah. So
Packed
yeah,
out
it was a
though.
wild time.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was like Jan last year, wasn't it? Time flies, man. The time flies. So anyway, you went on to win the league last year, promoted, and you're now in the. It's like one below the top league, or
Yeah, so you have the British Basketball League, and then which obviously is inclusive of all of Britain, and then we have the National Basketball League Division One, which is the league that we're in. So it's a top English league, but there's a British league above that.
got it, got it. Nice, nice. Where how's the season going so far this year? Bit of a mixed bag.
It's been, yeah, definitely a mixed bag. We had a great start, really, really good start, especially for a newly promoted club. Then we had a really bad losing streak, and now we're back to it again. We've just, you know, had a couple of big wins. I think we'll be safe. You know, I think 1 to 2 more wins will definitely be safe. We've got 6 games left.
Okay.
So it's been a mix. I think, you know, for us, obviously we always aim higher than what was maybe put out for us and set out for us. We always want to achieve more. But I think obviously staying in the division in your first season and still competing for a playoff place is definitely a good season.
Yeah, nice, nice. And the final
Yeah.
shout out for the Birmingham Rockets. It's to CEO Mr. Rob Palmer.
Yeah.
Fella,
He's what bloke.
top
Yeah,
fella.
yeah. Top bloke. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant.
He was actually my first coach. Yeah.
Oh, is he? Is he? Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we're on to about the last 10 minutes or so. So let's jump into let's fast forward a little bit. What came first? Phyz Factory or Forders Gym? And then where's the
So
competition there?
so Phyz Factory came first. So what Phyz Factory was about was people were asking me, or before we even knew what Forders was, like we had no idea, and we're from the same area. We had
Yeah,
literally zero idea.
nice.
And I don't know how, and I'm gutted that we found out about it. So Phyz Factory was people were asking us for workouts every day, and it was sort of around about lockdown time. People were asking us for circuits, stuff like that to do. So we started doing some on our own personal Instagrams, and then we just had an idea. Let's just make an Instagram, throw some workouts on there, and it started to pick up a following. Then it was a case of, you know, people asking us for merch. Do you sell merch? And we were like, I don't know, do we? Yeah, we do now. We
Yeah,
do now. So you know, went and found and had some t-shirts done. They went out the door, kept having that done, and we got some flags, some banners, all that sort of stuff.
nice.
And it was really just a case where we were putting the workouts that we did on there, and that was it really. And then we built this following, and now it's become like the online community that we have, the coaching community. We, you know, sell some apparel, we have the websites, programs, that sort of thing.
Brilliant.
And Forders was literally my fiance, Demi. She was training down there. She'd been family friends with Darren and Rachel down at Forders for a while, and she challenged me to go with her. And this is when we first sort of were seeing each other. So I was like, yeah, I'll come down. And mate, I got took to the cleaners, which I wasn't used to.
Oh,
I
wow.
went out the block because I heard you hear boot camp, and obviously as a Royal Marine, you're like, boot camp, what's this about?
Yeah,
Go down there, straight out the blocks, way too hot out the blocks.
yeah,
The boot camp sessions down there are like nothing you've ever seen before. I promise you that. The competitive level and the people that you're surrounded with, because it generally works with you in groups of 4, and then you have a finisher at the end where it might be teams of 8.
yeah,
But anyone can go, depending on you. You can go any fitness ability, and they're now doing foundation boot camps. But also, the level of people that you're put to compete with is going to reflect your sort of level. So
yeah.
I've gone there, I was hot out the blocks. Then I had my missus taking me to the cleaners, and I was like, what's going on here? So
Nice, man.
I had a good week of eating and training, and the next Saturday I had to put things right and not come out the block so hot and just make sure that put myself back to the top of the chain between us in the household anyway.
Good man. Good man. So you
Yeah,
made amends for the first. I guess people, as men, we all need that like sort of humbling experience, and we hope it doesn't happen like in a real HYROX. You want to get it in training
yeah,
at some point, but we've all been there. We've all been there. Too hot out the blocks and struggling to cling on.
100%. And Forders was so basically me and Darren started having a few conversations, and we loved each other's vibe, like what he was saying. I resonated with, and obviously their tagline of "be better" and ours of "effort, not excuses." It all works hand in hand, and at the end of it, it's all about just get this shit done, get your training in, and just be a better person. Be like I say, be a better person,
Yeah.
show effort and not excuses. And then you can be proud through the persistence that you've put in. And that's why we say the second bit of it is pride through persistence. Because if you are persistent with your training, you have that consistency, you will then become proud of yourself. So it all came together. We had a lot of shared values and just get it done and no nonsense really approach.
There we go. I love it. I love it. It's brilliant. You touched a little bit there on. We've not, by the way, spoken about HYROX. Let's very quickly, but we're running out of time a little bit. HYROX, you made your debut in London, April 22 with Rory. He's the
Yeah.
co-founder of Phyz Factory. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to London. So literally, we found out what HYROX was 3 days before.
Wow.
Went to the gym, said, let's give this a go, this workout a go. Went to the gym, and we had it around about 59 minutes in this gym. We was like, we can't have done that right. We was looking at the times in the world at that time. We was like, we can't have done this right. Obviously, there's no rock zone then. We were doing it. We made it ourselves at a gym in Lichfield, an army gym.
Nice.
So we did it, and then we was like, oh, do you reckon we can get in? So we actually messaged HYROX, managed to get tickets. I think I got down to London about 1 a.m. Rory and stayed in a hotel for, I think I slept for whatever time you had to register, like 6 or 7 a.m. Rory came down first thing in the morning, so I think he left at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then obviously it was one of the first waves.
Yeah.
So we'd had like next to no sleep.
Yeah.
I tore my calf on the first K.
No. Serious?
Yeah. So I tore my calf on the first K, wrong on the second K.
Yeah.
Because when we went into a sled pushed my sled, felt my calf tear completely.
Wow.
And I just, this is what I say about my mindset, sometimes gets me in trouble because I just carried on, did the lot. Obviously, we finished in 102, but after it, I was really struggling to walk. I had skinny trackies on, my legs were out here, my one calf.
Wow.
I was actually out for 6 months after that.
Were you?
Yeah.
So, calf injury, is that where it comes from?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's where the recurring calf injury sort of came from. So
wow.
yeah, 102 with a torn calf. So I was like, I need to give this another go at some point. Yeah.
Jesus, man, Jesus. Okay, so that explains why there's been that sort of gap, because then you've not competed again until last season, May. You got the late call up. He was on the Smash Life podcast, episode 3. Harry the Flying Bird gave you the call, and I believe you rocked up and just smashed it out, yeah?
Yeah, so again, I think this was 3 days notice again. Darren from Forders was basically like, late fitness test, get yourself down here at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you can hit these paces, then you can do it with Harry. Because what the biggest thing was, we didn't want to hold Harry back because he's what an incredible athlete he is.
Yeah.
So it was trying to find the right person for him. And I think, there wasn't too many options left. Considering I hadn't trained, I'd literally just come off the basketball season. I hadn't pushed a sled in it since London the year before.
Yeah.
So I hadn't done anything for it. And this is where sort of what I stand by about being 60 to 90 days away from doing anything with a good time. Yeah. So just keeping your general physical prep levels up to a standard that you're good to go. So yeah, I felt like Harry's handbrake. Obviously we came out at 58, 59, but it was
great.
It was an incredible athlete, an incredible person to keep going. And the frustration for me came with the fact that obviously I do play basketball. I am in the basketball world, and I really would love to and I will do after my basketball career, give HYROX a real good go with some training, because I'm really excited to see what times I can put out when I'm training for it. Because like I say, I've had 3 and 4 days notice for 2 different comps, and been fortunate to get sub 1 hour.
Yeah, done some pretty good times there. Both times. That's crazy, man. Listen, we are on to literally, we've got 90 seconds. So a quick shout out. That time, by the way, with Harry Bird, 58.59, that put you 10th in the world in your age group and 37th overall. So not bad at all, especially considering your small training time. And I did notice, had a look on the Mika timing, the ski time of 3 minutes 17 placed you 8th in the world. So that's not a bad shout as well.
I didn't know that.
No, there we go. I did want to touch on a few more bits, but I guess it just means we'll have to do a future episode. We'll have to follow up again, the online coaching, that kind of stuff. I did want to finish with, we always ask the guests, and you've got less than 1 minute to answer this. Jordan Dawes, thank you. It's been a great show. What is your #1 top tip to smash life?
#1. So my belief is stronger than your doubt. So, and that runs into believe in yourself. This was said by Venus Williams, believe in yourself. And even if you don't, pretend that you do, and then you will.
Wow. Leave it there. Let's leave it there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you feel inspired. If you are inspired, then please share it so we can reach more people and inspire more people. Comment below. All feedback appreciated. At Smash Life HQ, we're on a mission, simply inspiring people. We say enjoy the journey. Big thanks to Jordan for today. Guys, wherever you are, whatever you're up to, thanks and have a great day. Remember, it's nice to be nice. Smash Life. Yeah, man. Boom. Cheers, Jordan. That was awesome.
Thanks very much.
That was absolutely
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Thanks.
Come on,
Thanks. Keep going.